few years ago, a boy walked in an animal shelter. He was there to adopt a dog. He wanted to adopt a dog because his dog that he knew since he could remember, passed on a few months back. Now, the animal shelter has 3 main rooms to it. The first room is a smaller room with smaller pens and puppies, small dogs in each pen. The second room is a larger room with larger cages in it and several medium to large dogs in each cage. In the back of the second room, there are also smaller cages against the back wall. Now, in these smaller cages, there are also some smaller dogs in them. The third room is more of a makeshift room. I say it's a makeshift room because they had so many dogs out for adoption that they didn't have room inside, so they had to put the dogs in the cages, stacked on one top of another. On the way back to the start, where he wanted to check on several dogs to adopt, he asked the volunteer tour guide if he could look at the back room of the back wall of the second room, where there were smaller cages. Now, the tour guide said it was okay to go back there, but no one really goes back there that often. The boy wanted to go back there because he had an odd feeling. He had a feeling he just needed to go back there. And he saw a black and white nose sticking out of one cage. He went to the back room to that cage where he saw the nose sticking out of it and opened up the cage. Inside the cage was a smaller dog that wasn't like the other ones. It was very quiet and wasn't barking at me. The other dogs in this room were barking a lot and it was too loud to hear it well. Now, the boy was patient. He didn't reach in and pick her up right away. He let her come out on her own will. She eventually came out, walked into the boy's lap, reached up on her hind legs, and hugged him. The boy knew that she was the one he wanted to adopt, and she knew that he was the one she was waiting for. After this short adoption process, the boy was told that the dog had her chance in the earlier cages in the front of the room, and that she had, on her last day there, the next day she was scheduled to be euthanized. This is that dog, and I'm her hero. So why am I telling you our story? We both need you to be interested in rescuing and saving lives like I did to her. Many people consider pets to just be animals. Because of this misconception, 42% of all animals received by the Animal Service Center of Mesilla Valley are euthanized each month. Now, no matter who you are, that statistic should shock you and move you to want to help. I've rescued a lot of pets in my years, multiple dogs and cats, and I've helped the rescue efforts in other ways. Now, I've also done extensive research on the local animal shelters to see how their efforts in saving lives are going. Today, I will explain the need for pet adoption, what the solution to the problem is, and what alternative solutions there are. To begin, let's look at the need for pet adoption. The first reason we need to change is because a great number of pets are euthanized each month. In the months of July and August, 1,900 pets were received by the Animal Service Center of Mesilla Valley, and more than 700 were euthanized. Another reason we need change is the low adoption rates. In the months of August, 1,600 people went to the Animal Service Center of Mesilla Valley to adopt a pet. However, only 225 of those people adopted a pet. That's a 14% pet adoption rate for people that wanted to adopt a pet to people that adopted a pet. That is extremely low and needs to change. Now that we've talked about the need for pet adoption, let's look at the solution. The solution is very simple. People should be adopting a pet from their local animal shelter. We need to increase pet adoption rate to lower the amount of pets euthanized each month. The local animal shelter absolutely cannot hold any more pets, so they are forced to euthanize pets each month to make room for more pets. Now, it is unreasonable to expect the animal shelter to do any other course of action in the current conditions that they are dealing with. It's not their fault, it's our fault. We need to adopt pets, and that's the only solution. One of the benefits of adopting a pet from an animal shelter is the cost. The American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, also known as the ASPCA, states that when you adopt a pet from an animal shelter, the cost of adoption already includes vaccinations, microchipping, spay and neutering, health screen, tick bath, and deworming. The local pet adoptions range from $50 to $80 depending on the pet you're looking for. However, if you were to buy a pet from somewhere else, you'd have to pay for the pets as well as approximately another $200 for the services that are already included in the pet adoption rates. For those of you that are looking for purebred dogs as well, there's another benefit of adopting pets. The Little Buddies organization says that 10 to 15% of all shelter dogs and cats are purebred, and they are still going for the same price as the other dogs. So you don't have to pay for this extreme amount of money for a purebred animal, where you can get one at the adoption rate. Now let's move on from the solution to other ways that you can help. So if you have time to spare, there are some other ways you can help. The first and foremost way to help is to volunteer. As a volunteer, you can do support in public outreach events, hold fundraising events, become a shelter tour guide, be a pet walker, clean up and maintenance, assist in writing newsletters, or a host of other volunteer activities. Now, if you cannot be a volunteer, then you can attend a fundraiser, an event, or a public outreach and show your support that way. Now, if you don't have time to do that, you could foster a pet as well. This is where you bring a pet into your household for a short time, taking care of it while they find a home for it. Now, if you don't have that much time to spare and you're limited on time, there are some other ways you can help. You could donate money or items to the shelter or the thrift store, the Safe Haven thrift store, or you can just spread the word of pet adoption to everyone that you know. Now, you can even help while doing your normal Amazon shopping by going to the Amazon Safe Haven support page, and a percentage of all money that you give to Amazon will go to the Safe Haven Foundation instead. And this is the Safe Haven newsletter where they talk about the Amazon information here. If you just use this information here, you can sign on, and some of the payments you make on Amazon will go directly to the Safe Haven store. It doesn't cost you any money, so you should do this. It's a really good way of supporting them. Moving on from what you could do to help to what you should know about pet adoption after hearing this speech. So far we've talked about why there's a need for pet adoption, how we could solve the problem, and what else you can do if you have time or if you're limited on time. Just think about it. If you adopt a pet, you save 2 lives. According to the ASPCA, when you adopt a pet, not only do you give a home to deserving pets, but you also make room in the shelter for another pet to have an opportunity to be adopted. So go down to your local animal shelter and adopt a pet. Will you be a hero like I was to my Kira? Thank you.